Alright, we're at a friend of mine's shop, and of course I forgot to film any of this prior, so I'll have to, I do have some pictures of when I first got this thing. And after what happened. And then obviously I have here where we're at now. So this is my 1988 Jeep Cherokee Pioneer. It has some sort of a lift. I'm not sure how much. 33, 1250, 15 inch tires on it. Actually for an 88, it was in pretty good shape. Not really much rust on it. I mean, it's got a little bit here and there, but it's pretty solid for what it is. I mean, you can see here, kind of the floor's not all rotted out, but all the interior was taken out and it was right aligned inside. But anyhow, so how I acquired this thing was I took a 1996 Ford Taurus in on a trade. I had to put an axle and a wheel bearing in it. And I actually ended up trading it for this Jeep. And the guy actually gave me 300 bucks, or no, I'm sorry, 200 bucks, because this needed a neutral safety switch, which was quite expensive. But this, at the time, it had a roof and it was in nice shape. It's been painted with some auto shop paint, but it was, it was a good trade. I had about $300, maybe $400 in the Taurus, so all in all, I basically had 200 bucks in this Jeep. And I did have to do some stuff to it. Buddy of mine, the guy that I'm at his shop, he asked me to go to an off-road park, Rush, Kentucky. So I did do a little bit of work to it then, really not a lot. I did have to swap the front axle. Come to find out, it had 410 gears in the front and 355s in the rear. So I wanted to find a 410 rear, couldn't find one on a short notice, so I ended up putting a 355 front in it. I found these tires used. I think I gave 30 bucks a piece for these two up front. And that was pretty much it. So anyhow, luckily, I took my tow dolly and took it down to Rush, Kentucky, and I'd never been off-roading before. He'd been off-roading lots of times. That's his. He's also got a JK that's on 44s. That's what he had, was the JK. Anyhow, we go up this hill with a rock ledge that's sticking out of the hill. He goes up it with the JK. I'm trying to follow him. And long story short, I'm climbing the hill. I hit the rock ledge. The front end bounces. It twists off the rear drive shaft. I roll it down the mountain. Thank God I hit a tree, because there was a straight drop off in the area I was going. I don't know if you probably can't see it in the picture that I'm going to try and post on here. Yeah, it was a straight drop off behind that tree that I hit that stopped me. And I'll put the picture of where it sat. And I also have some pictures, because actually, luckily, there was a guy like a mile down the road from this off-road park that had a bunch of Jeep parts. And this is it right here. I actually went and was able to get a drive shaft for it. And my buddy had a winch on his JK, so we threw the winch over a tree branch and pulled the roof out on this thing. And I actually ended up wheeling it the whole next day. And that was actually about 4 years ago. And this thing has sat ever since. I actually ended up buying another Jeep that was a 84 4-cylinder. Guy told me it didn't run. I think he gave like 400 bucks for it. Oddly enough, is more than the one I gave for this Jeep. But anyhow, I was gonna cut the roof off of it and put it on this. Well, I got the thing home and it ran and drove, so I didn't end up cutting the roof off of it. So anyhow, upon looking, I found another Jeep. So now I have 3 of these Cherokees. I'm gonna walk out here because the other one's parked outside of his building here. So anyhow, I found this one over by Norwalk, Ohio, and was from Florida, I believe, at any rate. And just so nobody calls me a liar or an idiot, I'll prove it. But this is a 84 or 85 Jeep, and this one's a V6. So, and I think I gave like $300 for it. It runs and drives, but I don't have a title. So anyhow, this one is getting the roof cut off of it, and I'm gonna use the doors and stuff for the blue Jeep. Now, before everybody yells at me and is like, oh, that's stupid, why don't you just put the 4-liter in the other Jeep and swap VIN or whatever they say. I don't know if you can tell, but it does say V6 2.8 on here, or it used to. Anyhow, 84 and 85, which is what both of my other Jeeps are, they didn't have a 4-liter. So the firewall is farther forward, so the 4-liter does not fit easily. Plus I'd have to swap all the wiring and the computer system, and the other Jeep has a lift and this one does not. So it wouldn't really, I feel like, be any less work to just swap engines. So the plan is, like I said, we're going to use the doors and the roof off of that Jeep and put it onto the blue Jeep. Now, I'm gonna walk back in here, but I don't know if anybody noticed, but there is some tubing underneath this Jeep. So what that tubing's for is for a cage. So that's another thing. It's a lot easier to put the cage in without the roof on. Now obviously you're not going to cut the roof off of something to put a cage in it, but since we have to cut the roof off of this one anyhow, it just makes it easier. So this is my intention. We'll see how far it gets, and if everything gets done how I want, I don't know. But the plan is we're going to put a cage in it, and we're going to put the roof on, but the roof is going to be removable. So we're going to put the pillars on, and then we're going to leave it so you leave the windshield on, and then the roof will come off from here back. What we're thinking of doing right now is we're going to split the hatch, and it'll open like a tailgate here, and then it'll open from the top here, like if it was, you know, on a newer SUV or something. What I think I'm probably gonna do, these doors actually do still work pretty decent, but they're kind of beat up. So what I was thinking about doing was cutting these ones down and making like half doors out of these ones, and then having full doors off of the other Jeep. And so he started on it. Well, I mean, obviously he cut the roof off, but so also we are plating the frame. So we're doing frame stiffeners, cage. I plan on doing custom bumpers, spare tire carrier, you know, obviously the custom removable roof. But I don't know, I think it'll be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if it's the best idea, but it's the idea I had. And I don't know, it's gonna be kind of expensive to get it all done, but like I said, I don't really have a lot of money in the Jeep itself. So I feel like if I end up with, you know, $3,000 or so in this thing when it's all said and done, I think I'll be fine, because, you know, I'm gonna have a couple thousand and getting a cage and stuff done in it, and then I'm gonna have to get a new windshield for it, and, you know, a winch, and you know, by the time it's all said and done and all the little bullshit is added up, I feel like I'm probably gonna have another 3 grand plus 3 to 4 grand in it. But I don't know. I think it'll be pretty cool when it's done. I guess we'll see. So, this is where it's at now. He's gonna finish putting up the frame stiffeners on. He's gonna put Nerf bars on it, and then I'll start on the cage. So I'll try to get another video going on it when we get some more progress done on it. But that is where this build is at. And like I said on my previous video, I'm gonna try and be a little better with getting on these things. I mean, this thing sat for 4 years and I never thought to make a video on it before I brought it over here and we cut the roof off of it. But I'll try to get the pictures inserted in here into the best of my abilities. I'm not real good with the editing and adding stuff on here right now, but I'll try to figure out what I can. But yep, there's the Jeep. I'll work on getting some more videos on some of the other vehicles I have, and have a good day.